This is an examination with 400 participants in attendance. The test rules are straightforward. Within the designated time limit, using any means necessary, reduce the number of participants to 200, and you will successfully pass the assessment and earn your lighthouse qualification. Yet our protagonist remains fast asleep in the center of the testing ground. This story emerged during the early days of the Dark Age, when the world was silent and pitch black. Then God declared, "Let there be light," and so illumination spread throughout the darkness. Golden radiance pierced through the shadows, transforming into time and space, and giving birth to life itself. When the beings created by light possessed tremendous vitality, the 6 most brilliant among them proclaimed themselves the luminous ones and became leaders of all creatures. However, they fought amongst themselves, bringing endless chaos to the world. Eventually, darkness could no longer tolerate the arrogance of light, so darkness conceived a guardian of order to punish the luminous beings. His name was Phantominum. He was born from darkness, becoming the guardian of order and the most powerful existence. All luminous ones who fell before him were transformed into gems and sealed away. After Phantominum sealed all the luminous ones, darkness commanded him to bring the gems back. However, Phantominum did not comply, for he had already lost his sanity to the brilliance of the gems. He made the shining gems part of his own body and declared himself the King of Gems. Thus the King of Gems ruled over all creatures, and those beings who submitted to him out of fear called him the Luminous One. After a very long time passed, a new Luminous One was born. You are the only existence capable of opposing the King of Gems. You are my only hope, Urek Mazino. You must make this world shine forever. Several years later, Mazino entered the tower in search of Phantominum. Suddenly, a magical rabbit appeared before him. Congratulations on opening the door and entering this place. You have earned the qualification to climb this tower. The rabbit before him was named Hedon, the administrator of the tower's first floor, and also the tower's guardian. Do you know if Phantominum is somewhere in here? I don't know what you're referring to, but the top of the tower can fulfill all your wishes. Upon hearing this, Mazino decided to attempt climbing the tower. With a wave of Hedon's magic wand, a spatial portal materialized behind him. This place welcomes anyone who wishes to challenge it. Welcome to the Tower of God, Urek Mazino. The scene shifts to the tower's testing floor. This is where participants' qualifications for climbing are evaluated, known as the Hellish Examination of Ascension. The cube floating in the air and continuously broadcasting is the testing floor's examiner. Our protagonist Mazino has been asleep ever since being transported here. The testing rules are simple. There are currently 400 people here. Begin killing each other until only 200 remain. The surviving 200 will qualify for the next round of testing. If the number doesn't reduce to the specified count within the time limit, everyone will lose their climbing qualification. The test officially begins. Kill everyone around you. A white-hatted man carrying a long sword runs across the grassland. Suddenly, another candidate bursts from the deep grass to attack him. The white-hatted man narrowly dodges, while running and calling for help. At that moment, a sword light flashes through the air, directly piercing the attacking candidate, and instantly killing him. A green-haired woman, Roroba Evelyn, approaches the white-hatted man. Thank you so much for saving me, but why would you rescue me at this stage? Don't mention it. It's for my upcoming examination. I want to eliminate as many strong opponents as possible in this testing round. So you saved me simply because I'm weak? Isn't that obvious? Don't tell me you're actually strong. If you want to survive, keep up with me. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a 6-eyed and 6-armed creature is battling multiple candidates. Evelyn immediately targets him as her next objective, leaping behind him for a sneak attack, driving her long sword directly into his back. As the blade continues to penetrate, the opponent gradually loses his life force and collapses to the ground. The white-hatted man behind her watches this scene in amazement, silently deciding he must stick close to this powerful ally. Just then, Evelyn becomes extremely alert. A pink-haired woman stands on a distant rock, completely unconcerned about being discovered. Isn't that person afraid of being ambushed standing so high up? Of course not, because that woman is Princess Jihad. This is unfortunate. Why are there so many monsters here? The white-hatted man laments. She's indeed as beautiful as the rumor suggests, like no mortal woman. However, this comment infuriates Evelyn nearby. I acknowledge her strength, but that doesn't mean I acknowledge her beauty. When it comes to beauty, I've never lost to anyone. The white-hatted man behind her can only tearfully agree, yes, her beauty doesn't compare to even half of yours. At this moment, the pink-haired princess begins wielding her long sword. Evelyn quickly pulls the white-hatted man down with her. The pink-haired princess directly hurls her long sword forward. The sword moves as if conscious, continuously attacking the marked candidates below in the grass. With just a single strike, she eliminates everyone in that area. The remaining candidates on the field now number only 252. Do you still think that woman is attractive now? You're absolutely right. Now she gives me a feeling of being completely untouchable. Hearing this, Evelyn once again raises her finger to poke the white-hatted man. I was wrong. I won't say such things anymore, okay? At this time, the pink-haired princess notices something below. Our protagonist Mazino is still fast asleep here. 3 candidates are quietly approaching nearby. What's wrong with this guy? How dare he lie here sleeping during such a life-or-death examination? Though I've heard there are all kinds of people in the tower, I never expected to encounter someone this bizarre. Just as they prepare to attack, Mazino suddenly rolls over and directly kicks the 2 nearest people with his feet, sending them flying high into the air. Then he smoothly stands up. I was finally getting some good sleep. Why did you have to disturb me? The remaining candidate is now terrified. He turns to flee, but Mazino won't let anyone who disturbed his sleep get away. He immediately knocks the person unconscious. Just as Mazino wants to continue sleeping, the broadcast sounds again from the sky. 201 remain. Just eliminate 1 more person and this game will end. 10 minutes remaining. At this moment, the pink-haired princess jumps down from the rock. Mazino initially thought she was also coming to disturb his sleep, but unexpectedly, she points her long sword at the candidate Mazino had just knocked out. I'm only here to end this person's life. Have you forgotten the examination rules? Just as she's about to strike, Mazino extends his hand to stop her. Why should I follow such boring rules? I prefer to act according to my own will. Hearing this, the pink-haired princess becomes angry, directly pointing her long sword at him. If you plan to continue participating in examinations so carelessly, then I'll personally end you myself. At this moment, Mazino becomes attracted to the princess's beauty, involuntarily blushing. Actually, I'm still single. This further enrages the princess. Are you taking this examination seriously at all? Mazino quickly tries to dissuade her. Why must we kill him? I have a better target. He then points at the white cube in the sky, saying, wouldn't eliminating him work just as well? Hearing this, the princess finds it unbelievable. Are you joking? That's the Tower of God's examination supervisor. Mazino ignores the princess's words and shouts toward the sky. Hey, white cube guy, do you also count among the 400 people? The examination supervisor is shocked to hear this. Mazino continues shouting loudly, White cube, come down here. I want to catch you and complete this test. You're not scared, are you? Get down here now. At this point, the supervisor reveals a smile. It seems a madman has entered the tower. The next second, a beam of light emanates from the white cube. The supervisor actually appears before Mazino. This commotion immediately draws the attention of all candidates. Though I don't know where you come from, you're definitely an ignorant country bumpkin. Do you know who you're talking to? I'm the testing floor's examination supervisor. Mazino is quite impatient at this moment. What are you acting so proud for? You're just nobody. Just moments ago, our protagonist Mazino angered the examination supervisor. The supervisor roars in fury, intense sound waves emanating from around his body. The princess behind him quickly covers her ears with both hands, worthy of being the testing supervisor. Just this alone renders me immobile. The supervisor places his hand on Mazino's shoulder. Are you insane? There's a rule in the Tower of God. Supervisors must not interfere with the candidate's affairs. But if examination violations occur, as the testing supervisor, I can impose appropriate punishment. How about losing a leg as suitable discipline? Appropriate discipline? I think you've misunderstood something, Mazino says while grabbing the supervisor's arm. Terrifying power directly overwhelms the supervisor. What is this? His strength actually exceeds mine. Does he possess some special ability? Only the strong are qualified to speak such words. In my view, you don't qualify. You brat who hasn't even touched divine water. Just as the supervisor is about to rage, the broadcast sounds again from the sky. Currently only 200 candidates remain in the examination. This test has concluded. It appears someone has already eliminated the final person. The pink-haired princess breathes a sigh of relief. Thank goodness it's over. If that guy had really fought with the testing supervisor, who knows what terrible things might have happened. The supervisor brushes off Mazino's palm and turns to leave. Kid, you're very lucky. Be grateful to that innocent person who died for your sake. This tower is filled with monsters beyond your imagination. Don't be too arrogant. The supervisor then approaches the princess and bows apologetically. I'm very sorry. My behavior just now was too discourteous. Please forgive me, princess. Behind them, Mazino continues taunting. What a pity. Just give me a few seconds and I could have defeated him. These words anger the supervisor once more. Blue energy suddenly surges around his body. Mazino is surprised by this sight. He has never witnessed such power before. Just as both sides are ready for confrontation, a man approaches from the distance. Danton, that's enough. Chief Supervisor, why have you come? The newcomer is indeed the Chief Supervisor, Danton's superior. You're stronger than him. Want to fight with me? However, the Chief Supervisor ignores Mazino and turns to leave immediately. The test is ended. Don't waste time here. We still have much work to do. Supervisor Danton immediately bows in acknowledgement and promptly announces the test's conclusion. Those who survived will proceed to the next round of testing. As Danton departs, he deliberately turns to address Mazino. Next time, you won't be so fortunate. We'll see about that. The broadcast sounds once more. All candidates prepare yourselves. Transportation to the next testing ground will commence shortly. After speaking, everyone transforms into beams of light and vanishes. In the chief office of the testing floor's floating fortress, Supervisor Danton is apologizing for his earlier behavior. I'm very sorry. I shouldn't have been provoked by a candidate. Just because the floor administrator isn't currently present, you don't take me seriously? These words immediately terrify Supervisor Danton. Absolutely not. I had no intention of disrespecting you whatsoever. I hope so. Such incidents must never happen again. However, if you're provoked by candidates again, you must completely crush that candidate. Hearing this, Supervisor Danton pauses momentarily, then immediately responds, "Yes, I will give him absolutely no opportunity." He then departs muttering, "Damn it, what exactly does he want me to do? But that candidate, given any chance, I will definitely crush him completely." At this moment, the chief supervisor examines Mazino's file with great puzzlement. Where exactly does this guy come from? There are no records about him whatsoever. The scene shifts to the second examination venue, where all candidates have gathered, including the turbaned man who was foaming at the mouth earlier. He's suddenly bumped by someone behind him, and immediately turns around angrily, "Which blind fool bumped into me? Sorry, there are just too many people here." However, when the turbaned man sees the person's appearance clearly, he immediately becomes respectful. "Boss, this way." At this moment, a black shadow appears in the sky. "Welcome, all candidates. First, congratulations on passing the first round of testing. I am Giselle, the supervisor for this test. From now on, I will introduce the content of this examination. You are all climbers of the Tower of God, and to ascend this tower, you must master two fundamental skills. They are cooperation and division of labor. Until now, you have all been killing each other. It's time to work together. Starting now, you will be divided into groups of 3. Of course, the closeness need only reach the level where you could betray each other at any moment. So the game we're playing now is the traditional team game, palm and back of hand. A massive monster suddenly appears behind the supervisor, continuously saying, "Is it palm or is it back of hand?" Hearing this rule, everyone is puzzled. At this moment, somewhere within the tower, a blond man sits on a rock, silently observing below, then aims and hurls a light orb in his hand, directly killing the man below. At this time, the chief supervisor suddenly appears here. "Isn't your killing method a bit too lazy? You're here. So, how is this batch of new candidates?" The chief supervisor looks down at everyone below and says flatly, "Nothing particularly special. This is a game testing teamwork, hosted by the beautiful supervisor Giselle, and the game is called Palm and Back of Hand." Hearing this name, everyone looks confused, completely unsure how to play this game. Only the turbaned man knows the gameplay. "You boring people, didn't any of you play this game as children?" Mazino immediately inquires, "You know the game rules?" "Of course, it's very simple. You just choose between palm or back of hand. Then people who make the same choice form a team. In other words, as long as we choose the same hand position, we'll be on the same team." "Brother, are you planning to show palm or back of hand?" After hearing the rules, Mazino immediately changes his attitude. "Why should I tell you?" Just as the turbaned man continues trying to persuade him, the airborne supervisor interrupts. "Unfortunately, my game rules differ somewhat from what you just described. Typically, palm and back of hand is a very simple team formation game, like choosing between offense and defense, both determining the team's success or failure. But in this game, it's different from before. You will compete against the goat behind me." Everyone observe the goat's hands carefully. The left hand shows back, the right hand shows palm. Right now, my hand positions match the goat's hand positions. From now on, all of you must observe the goat's hands and change along with him. If you can synchronize the same movements when the command ends, you succeed, otherwise you fail. As they say, seeing is believing. Let's begin the first round now. The sudden start catches the turbaned man off guard. "I still haven't understood completely." The goat's mouth begins to move, even if afraid. "Let's have a round of palm or back of hand. Even if trembling, let's have a round of palm or back of hand." As the goat's hands flip continuously, the speed increases, and the people below can barely keep up with his rhythm. "Too fast, I can't see clearly at all." Soon the goat stops his movements. "You can't keep up with just this? How pathetic." Currently, only 24 people on the field succeeded in following along. Among them is our protagonist Mazino. "Brother, you're amazing." As expected, Princess Jihad also succeeded. The successful 24 people gain the right to choose teammates. You may select one person from those who failed in the competition against the goat and play palm and back of hand with them. Now begin choosing teammates. First come, first served. Evelyn immediately raises her hand to indicate she wants to choose a teammate. The white-hatted man nearby thinks she will choose him, but watching Evelyn slowly move away from him, toward a blue-haired man in the distance, the white-hatted man finally faces reality. "I was being presumptuous. How could she possibly team up with someone like me?" Now, you two will continue the game according to instructions, with Evelyn taking the goat's role, and the blue-haired man following Evelyn's hand movements. As the game begins again, Evelyn sings the chant, "Even if afraid, let's have a round of palm or back of hand. Even if trembling, let's have a round of palm or back of hand." If they pass the test, they will officially become a team, but if they fail, Evelyn's hands are flipping rapidly, while the man across from her cannot keep up with the rhythm at all. At the final moment, both parties' hands are in completely opposite positions. Seeing this failed result, the man becomes angry. You were going too fast just now. I'm disappointed. I originally thought you could be useful, but I didn't expect you couldn't even pass such a simple game. I don't want to be on the same team as such an incompetent person. The airborne supervisor silently watches all this. People from the 10 great families are truly realistic. The next second, the goat's large hand reaches for the blue-haired man and lifts him high up. Failures will be offered as sacrifices to the goat. Hearing that he will become a sacrifice, the blue-haired man is terrified. But no matter how he struggles, he cannot escape being devoured. As you can see, if the selected person fails, they become sacrifices to the goat. Conversely, if they succeed, they can choose whether to become teammates with the selected person or offer that person to the goat. By forming 3-person teams through this process, you succeed, but those who fail to form teams within the time limit will be eliminated. Evelyn immediately understands the true rules of this game. It appears to be a team formation game, but it's actually a process of demonstrating individual strength. If you win in the first round against the goat, you have the opportunity to eliminate people you want to get rid of. Now let's continue choosing teammates. The next second, those who won the first round all begin selecting their preferred teammates. Mazino looks toward the turbaned man beside him. Let's play the game. Didn't you say you wanted to team up with me before? Why are you scared now? The turbaned man now has no confidence and doesn't dare agree immediately. At this time, the airborne supervisor provides additional assistance, by the way. Any candidate who refuses a challenge will be directly offered as a sacrifice to the goat. The turbaned man now has no way out. What should I do? I can't keep up with this guy's speed at all. At this moment, Mazino speaks. As a man, you should look forward. Fear won't solve any problems. After saying this, their game begins. Even if afraid, let's have a round of palm or back of hand. Even if trembling, let's have a round of palm or back of hand. The game quickly ends, but what the turbaned man didn't expect is that both parties' hands never moved at all, still maintaining their positions from the game's start. This means the turbaned man successfully passed the game, and now it's his turn to choose whether to team up with Mazino or offer him to the goat. Why did you do this? Don't you know your approach puts your life in the other party's hands? Yes, I know. I just thought you might trust me. Since you trust me, I trust you too. Isn't that the foundation of team cooperation? Just as the goat's large hand is about to grab Mazino, the turbaned man is moved by Mazino's words and quickly shouts to stop. Don't eat my brother, we are a team. The next second, the goat retracts his hand. The turbaned man bows apologetically to Mazino. Brother, I apologize for my earlier rudeness. Outside, I'm just a nobody, but I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to enter this tower. I will never forget your trust in me. From now on, I will never betray you. Got it, got it. No need to be so emotional. You look much older than me. Soon the first game concludes. Unfortunately, only 7 people successfully formed teams. From now on, only each team's representative can participate in the game. Now begins the second game. The goat sings the chant again. Even if afraid, let's have a round of palm or back of hand. Even if trembling, let's have a round of palm or back of hand. With the chant, the goat's hands flip continuously. Just as everyone watches the goat's hands intently, the goat actually makes a feint. His hands are about to flip but return to their previous position at the last moment. Finally, both hands display the back position. At this moment, Mazino's hands are both palm up. The turbaned man beside him exclaims excitedly, Brother, you were deceived by that goat. Don't make such a fuss. I lost on purpose. Look around. I'm certain many people like me intentionally lost. This leaves the turbaned man puzzled. How could anyone intentionally lose? Why would they do that? Because if you succeed this time, you'll be forced to participate in a game, which only brings trouble. They want to avoid unnecessary conflict, and I share the same thinking. Normal people wouldn't challenge these formidable individuals, but this world has no shortage of various madmen. The pink-haired princess approaches. Play this game with me. The atmosphere immediately becomes awkward. Princess Jihad is indeed a madman. So you want to eliminate me? If that's the case, I advise you to give up. No, I'm here to team up with you. Of course, you'll have to defeat me first. This scene immediately draws the attention of surrounding people. Everyone finds it unbelievable that Princess Jihad would actually plan to team up with an unknown person. The turbaned man behind them says happily, Brother, such a great opportunity. You must agree. However, unexpectedly, Mazino refuses. I'm very sorry, but I already have someone in mind. The rejected princess decides to force the issue and directly initiates the game. What a stubborn woman. If this continues, you'll become a sacrifice. That's not your concern. If you don't want to die, you'd better concentrate. The game then begins. Even if afraid, let's have a round of palm or back of hand. Even if trembling, let's have a round of palm or back of hand. Both parties' hands rotate at high speed. The moment the chant stops, both people's hands also stop, left hand palm, right hand back. Both parties' hand positions are identical. The turbaned man beside them exclaims excitedly, "We won! As I expected, you're truly strong. Now it's Mazino's turn to make a choice." He says calmly, "I refuse to team up with you." This statement immediately shocks everyone. No one can believe that Princess Jihad would be eliminated in the second round of testing. The goat begins to move, its massive hand reaching for the princess. The nearby supervisor becomes extremely anxious and tries to intervene, but it's already too late. The princess is swallowed by the goat in one gulp. Everyone finds it unbelievable that Princess Jihad was eliminated so simply. This is serious trouble. Who would believe that Princess Jihad was eliminated in just the second examination? And she was eaten by a goat, no less. Now in everyone's eyes, Mazino is a complete madman. The turbaned man beside him says angrily, "Brother, what exactly are you thinking? Wouldn't choosing Princess Jihad be good? Who exactly do you want to team up with?" At this moment, Mazino looks toward the white-hatted man. "I want to team up with that kid." "What? You mean that guy who doesn't even dare make eye contact with people? That coward?" "Why?" The turbaned man is very confused about this. He and I, when we first arrived here, have a similar scent, a faint smell of seawater. The turbaned man becomes even more confused. "This is your reason for giving up teaming with Princess Jihad? I completely cannot understand your thought process. By the way, what exactly is this Jihad thing you keep mentioning?" This statement once again shocks the turbaned man. This guy actually knows nothing at all. He quickly whispers to explain. It turns out that Jihad is the king of this Tower of God. Long ago, there was a man named Jihad who came from outside the tower and quickly conquered this place. Hearing this, Mazino actually wants to ask the goat to return Princess Jihad because he wants to find the king of this place through the princess. However, the princess being swallowed is already an unchangeable reality, so Mazino can only continue the game obediently. Even if afraid, let's have a round of palm or back of hand. Even if trembling, let's have a round of palm or back of hand. With the start of the third round, the goat's hand-flipping speed becomes increasingly fast. The candidates below cannot keep up with the rhythm at all. The goat's hands finally freeze in two palm positions. This time, only 6 people pass the game. Mazino immediately takes action, while Evelyn nearby continues contemplating. "I still don't have any teammates. This game will only become more difficult as it progresses. Previously, when we eliminated others, we only needed skill. But now building a team requires absolute trust. But in this group of complete strangers, can I really find a completely trustworthy companion?" Evelyn's gaze gradually turns toward the lonely white-hatted man in the distance. Maybe he's worth trusting, but he's really too weak. If we team up, he'll drag the team down in the future. However, at this moment, the white-hatted man is approached by Mazino. Evelyn in the distance watches this scene with confusion. Could Mazino be planning to team up with that weakling? What no one knows is the despair in the white-hatted man's heart. "No one wants to team up with me. No one even bothers to eliminate me because I'm too weak. There's no need. At this rate, I'll definitely be eliminated and return to where I originally belonged. That place of despair abandoned by the gods." Just as the white-hatted man sinks into darkness, Mazino's voice interrupts his thoughts. "Hey, kid with the hat, want to team up with us?" However, at this moment, Evelyn arrives and intercepts. "Let's play the game." Evelyn is first to make a game request. The turbaned man beside them says angrily, "What are you doing? Can't you see we were here first? What's the meaning of this queue jumping? You only said hello, but I was the first to make a game request, so I should be first." As they argue below, the airborne supervisor intervenes. "Since both your viewpoints have merit, and it's difficult to say who came first, let's listen to Mr. Lau's choice." Hearing this, the white-hatted man is also stunned, not expecting things to turn out this way. Faced with a choice between 2 people, the white-hatted man chooses Evelyn, who had saved him, without hesitation. "Miss Evelyn, I want to team up with you. I will keep my hands completely still. I trust you, Miss Evelyn." Mazino nearby finally realizes, so you two already knew each other. But why didn't you choose him before? However, faced with the white-hatted man's sincerity, Evelyn becomes angry instead. "What do you mean by this? Are you planning to give up, or are you intending to lose on purpose and eliminate me along with you?" "Of course not. Without you, I couldn't form a team either. I really want to be with you. I just happened to fall for you. Evelyn, I like you." The sudden confession makes Evelyn extremely awkward. Mazino nearby feels like a third wheel, and quickly leaves with the turbaned man. "How unlucky. I got fed a stomach full of romance out of nowhere." Evelyn's attitude suddenly changes. "I come from one of the 10 great families. When considering marriage, I face many difficulties. Do you have the courage to face these challenges?" Suddenly bringing up marriage leaves the white-hatted man at a loss. Evelyn also raises both hands, and the two face each other motionlessly. Evelyn smiles and says, "I think I'm starting to like you a little too." Mazino, who has walked away, is quite speechless. In the end, I was the only one wasting time. At this moment, a voice calls out, "Would you like to choose to team up with me?" A long-haired man approaches and directly makes a game request to Mazino. "My name is Neo. I may not be as excellent as you, but I am very strong. Unfortunately, while I acknowledge your decent abilities, I don't quite trust you yet." "You're absolutely right. I'm not exactly a trustworthy partner. But at least I won't get in your way. None of you are my targets. This guy makes me dizzy just being near him. But he and that white-haired boy both give off the same faint scent of seawater. Then let us begin the game. Now you've piqued my curiosity. Soon the allotted time expires, and the game ends. A total of 10 teams successfully form 3-person squads. These individuals will advance to the next examination. It's been a pleasure spending this brief time with you all. At this moment, Mazino notices something wrong. There are only 9 teams present, yet the examiner just announced 10 teams advancing, so where did the other team go? At this moment, inside the goat's belly, Princess Jihad stands coldly amidst the blood and flesh. The death match has concluded. The remaining 3 candidates are automatically grouped into a team and enter the next round of testing. Our princess is truly terrifying. Princess, are you alright? Fortunately, I arranged this revival match in advance. You didn't change the rules at the last moment because of me, did you? Of course not. I only said they would be eaten by the goat. I never said they would be directly eliminated. This rule design is quite interesting. In the next test, I will definitely reclaim this humiliation. I will never forgive that bastard. At this time, the broadcast in the examiner waiting room announces that the second test has concluded, with a total of 30 candidates advancing. Please have the next test examiners go receive the candidates and prepare for the upcoming assessment. Danton examiner selects the crown game from the game list. The upcoming game should be quite interesting. Everyone prepare to depart. Let's go welcome our next batch of contestants. A massive floating ship docks beside the Sky City. All advancing candidates wait at the entrance with the elevator. Turban Guy becomes excited as soon as he arrives. This place is absolutely amazing. Just then, a group of people approaches on small aircraft. The people standing on them are all examiners from this floor. Greetings, candidates. I am Rahab, the chief examiner for this test. I am pleased that you have successfully passed the first 2 rounds of testing. From now on, you will travel through this floating ship to various areas of the test floor to complete your examinations, until you pass the final assessment at the floating ship's destination and become true climbers. You will gain endless wealth and power in the future, as well as the great journey toward approaching truth. So use your own strength to earn all of this. Everyone then begins collecting tickets to board the floating ship. These tickets will be checked every day at noon. Please keep them safe. At this moment, Mazino notices. There's a strange guy who has infiltrated the back of the group. Soon everyone arrives inside the floating ship. Everyone is attracted by the luxurious decorations inside. At this time, Danton examiner walks out with other examiners. Welcome aboard the cruise ship, everyone. Before the next test arrives, you will undergo direct training on this cruise ship. During direct training, you will train according to your assigned positions. Each position will have short-term evaluations, all conducted by corresponding examiners. Those ranking high in short-term evaluations will receive generous rewards, while those who don't make the rankings regardless of their other test scores will be disqualified. So even after passing the main exam, you can still be eliminated. Mazino beside him is completely confused, wondering what positions are. Neo immediately steps forward to explain. Positions refer to the roles each person assumes within a team. They originate from the roles once held by the great pioneers who climbed the tower. For example, scouts monitor enemy movements on the front lines and disrupt the battlefield. Lightbearers stay in the rear, controlling the overall situation and commanding the team. Spearbearers cooperate with lightbearers and can eliminate enemies from long distances. Wave controllers can manipulate divine water to fight and suppress enemies. They are the battlefield dominators. And hunter who act independently, capable of hunting and capturing enemies anywhere. There are many other positions, but these 5 are the mainstream ones. Now I will introduce the other examiners to you. They will become mentors for your various positions. First is your canine mentor, Baskerville. He is a wave controller. Then there's the glasses-wearing fellow beside him, Poudre. He is a light-bearer. Next is your previous examiner, Giselle. She is a scout. And our beautiful mentor, Heidi. She is a spear-bearer. Finally, there's me, a hunter. The booming voice echoes continuously throughout the hall. Everyone below silently complains. Why introduce yourself so loudly? Are you afraid we don't recognize you? I have already assigned you to various positions based on your qualifications. From now on, you must follow your respective mentors for today's schedule. Mazino immediately looks up to find his assignment. He discovers he's been assigned to the hunter category. Turban Guy is assigned as a spear bearer. The long-haired Neo is a wave controller. This works out perfectly. A team should have multiple positions. Let's all work hard separately. We'll meet again after we've completed our training. The scene shifts to the hunter direct training room. Instructor Danton stands in the center of the room and speaks. I won't waste words. You need to know that hunter is the pinnacle of all positions. This also means you are the strongest among all candidates. Therefore, there is no place for the weak here. I will never tolerate anyone bearing the hunter title while being weak. So today we will hold an entrance test. Anyone who fails will be directly thrown off this cruise ship. Let us begin then. However, no one reacts, standing motionless in place. Why do I feel a bit of pain? This instructor didn't even explain what the entrance test involves. Stop dawdling, come up one by one. At this time, blonde guy beside them plans to go first. Sorry, I always like to be first in everything. As Blonde Guy removes his shirt, Instructor Danton points to the harness hanging nearby and says, "Put that on and walk over." When he picks up the blue harness nearby, it actually moves on its own, fastening around Blonde Guy's waist. This leaves him completely puzzled. What's happening here? Walking feels strange. Under Instructor Danton's urging, both sides grab each other's harnesses, standing in a rather embarrassing position. The crowd in the distance watches this scene in shock. I really don't want to do this kind of thing with that guy. As Instructor Danton announces the start, his feet immediately exert force. Then he lifts Blonde Guy directly, slamming him heavily to the ground. Like this, when your back touches the divine water on the ground, you lose. Then he turns to shout at everyone, "Who's next?" Just when he thinks no one dares to come forward, Mazino raises his hand, indicating he wants to try. However, Instructor Danton acts as if he didn't hear and speaks. Seems everyone is scared. How about this? I'll give the first 3 people to step forward another chance. Immediately, many people step forward, indicating they're willing to try. Looks like my opportunity has been postponed again. At this moment, in the engine room inside the cruise ship, the 3-person revival team successfully infiltrates here. Their mission is to steal the ship tickets from candidates on the cruise ship, thereby replacing them to continue this examination. The 3 then set off separately to find their targets. Princess Jahad's target is the protagonist Mazino. No matter what, I must steal his ship ticket before tonight ends. The scene returns to the Hunter Direct training room. Everyone is quickly defeated by Instructor Danton. He's too strong, we can't possibly win. At this time, the short-haired girl injures her foot and cannot leave the competition area. Weakness is not allowed here, get up quickly. Just then Mazino walks over. "Let me help you." Under Instructor Danton's gaze, he then carries the girl to the edge of the competition area, then puts on that blue belt. "Well then, let me try too, this game might be quite interesting. But I need to figure out what that mysterious power he used earlier actually was. As thanks for helping me understand the tower's wonders. I'll also let you witness the power from outside the tower.